Good morning. What's so funny? And welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Fayetteville. I am Gabriel Bentley, and I am an honorary member of UUFF. We uphold the unity of our connections to each other. No, Unitarian Universalism is a liberal religious tradition that values freedom in religious thought and journey. We uphold the unity of our connections to each other, to all of life, and to the precious universe which we are a part. We affirm the universality of love and hope as we journey together in this community. And we welcome you, whoever you are at this moment, and wherever you are in your spiritual journey. For those joining us for the first time on Facebook Live, please check out our website, uufayetteville.org, for more information and to sign up to receive the weekly email. For those visiting us here in person today, you'll find in the seat back in front of you a visitor information card that we'd love for you to fill out so we can get you on the email list and keep you informed on UUFF happenings. You can always unsubscribe if you wish. There are also yellow joys and concerns cards in the seat backs. If you have a joy or concern you'd like to share, we invite you to fill out a card and drop it in the basket during the Joys and Concerns time of service. If you're participating via Facebook Live, you may write joys and concerns in the comments at that time. Also, children are fully welcome here. If your child gets a little noisy or extra fidgety, we're fine with that. You and they may stay here or step out if you prefer. The choice is yours. Nursery care is offered during the service, and the nursery is just down the stairs and to the right.
Hi, my name is Melly Edge Adams. I'm the service coordinator this Sunday, and I have the pleasure of introducing our guest speaker today, who will also be giving our call to worship. Chris Gillow worked blue collar for many, many years before a physical inhibition required him to reevaluate his life choices. And he was very lucky to be in a place and time where he could pursue a degree in communication. He expanded that bachelor's degree to a master's degree in communication, featuring and specializing in superhero narratives and how that connects with communication. I am very, very happy to have him speaking with us today. And now Chris is going to give us our call to worship.
Good morning, everyone. I have a quote from Justice Tom Clark in the Supreme Court case Burston versus Wilson, 1962. It cannot be doubted that motion pictures are a significant medium for the communication of ideas. They may affect public attitudes and behavior in a variety of ways, ranging from direct espousal of political or social doctrine to subtle shaping of thought, which characterizes all artistic expression. The importance of motion pictures as an organ of public opinion is not lessened by the fact that they are designed to entertain as well as inform. Additionally, I would like to read number 34 from the UU Gray hymnal. May we be reminded here of our higher aspirations and inspired to bring our gifts of love and service to the altar of humanity. May we know again that we are not isolated beings, but connected in mystery and miracle to the universe, to this community, and to each other. And now Ollie will light the chalice.
Say these words with me as I light the chalice. Love is the spirit of this church, and the purpose of its prayer, to dwell together in peace, seek knowledge in truth, and to help one another, thus to be covenant together.
This is kind of an obscure hymn as far as gathering goes, but I think it fits amazingly with the message because we need superhero mentality because of the fierce unrest that's seething at the core. All right, so please try to join me and rise if you would like. It's number 304 in the hymnal. It might give you some cues as to how the melody goes. It's really all over the place, but I've tried to make it very dramatic and like soundtrack superhero movie themed. So. All the verses start on 3. I will do my best to start on 3, or I will nod you in. 1, 2. See? 1, 2. A fierce unrest sees at the core of all existing things. It was the eager wish to soar that gave the gods their wings. There drops through all the worlds that are this heartbeat, hot and strong, and shaken system, star by star, awake and glow in song. But for the urge of this unrest, these joys are mute. But for the rebel in our midst, had we remained as brutes, their baffled wits demanded speech, and moved into birth. One day the lyric shall reach from earth to laughing earth. 1, 2, from deep to dream, from dream to deep, from daring hope to hope. The restless wish, the instant need still drove us up the slope. Sing we know governed firm amid cold order regular. We sing of springing discontent that leaps from star to star. Oh, hell!
I feel like I always challenge Jory when I am involved in a service in any way. I seem to find the hymns that have never been sung here, or possibly not anywhere else for that matter. And I truly appreciate Jory's staunch determination. Our story this morning is I Do Not Like Stories. Do Not Like Stories by Andrew Larson. Aw, kitty. I do not like stories. I do not like stories about waking up in the morning. I do not like stories about people in space or fish in the sea. Pay close attention to the pictures. I do not like stories about planes or trains or buses or bikes. Ugh. I do not like stories about boring old buildings. Look at our kitty here. Oh, he's going to sneak in. I do not like stories about numbers or letters. Oh. I do not like stories about apples or pears or peaches or plums. Oh no. I do not like stories about deep, dark forests. I do not like stories about missing the one you love. Aww. I do not like stories about going home. Oh, no, go fast. And I do not like stories about monsters that hide behind closed doors. Boo! Just kidding. That's no monster. That's my cat. I do not like stories about things to do when there is nothing to do. And I definitely do not like stories about the stars that come out at the end of the day. But I might like a story about a cat. Do you know any stories about a cat? Now is the time in our service where we share our joys and concerns with each other. Ours is a community of love and caring. Sharing our concerns gives us weight off of our shoulders. Sharing our joys gives us balloons for each other. At this point in time, we are reinstituting, as last week, one of our awesome traditions, which is dropping stones into the bowl. At this point in time, if you have joys and concerns on your card, you can bring them to me as you're making your way up. If you do not feel comfortable or do not want them shared, you can mark that. Unfortunately, if you're on Facebook, they will be shared. And if you have issues leaving your seat, you can just hold them up and someone will retrieve them for you. And now I will drop 2 stones, one for all of the things heard here, and another for all of those joys, concerns, or other feelings that may be too dear to share. Join me in a time of prayer, meditation, or silence. Let's take a moment to breathe together. I'll be reading from our gray hymnal, number 557. All living substance, all substance of energy, being, and purpose are united and share the same destiny. All people, those we love, and those we know not of, are united and share the same destiny. Birth to death, we share this unity with the sun, the earth, our siblings and strangers, flowers of the field, snowflakes, volcanoes and moonbeams, birth, life, death, unknown, known, unknown. Our destiny from unknown to unknown. May we have the faith to accept this mystery and build upon its everlasting truth. Thank you. All right, time everybody's been waiting for. I will invite Chris Gillow up for the message. Welcome, Chris.
Good morning again. So, as been so graciously introduced, I'm Christopher Gillow. I did receive a master's degree from the University of Arkansas focusing on superhero films and narratives. I currently teach public speaking at the University of Arkansas and at NWAC, and keeping in line with that teaching, I will lay out for you a roadmap of where I'm going to be going today. In short, I'm going to be talking about superhero stories, what they are, how they fit in with heroic tales in general, and why any of us should even care about that today. I know that some of you, like our young friend in the story that we just heard, might not like superhero movies. You hear that, and it may be, well, I don't like those. You would be in good company. Martin Scorsese doesn't even consider them to be cinema. I would have to disagree with Martin and remind you that, again, like our young friend found out, those stories that you do like are often found in places that we might not have originally looked. Superheroes are a part of our modern world, and although their stories have always been present, the current form they take is ubiquitous, whether it is a Punisher logo waved on flags by rioters, whether it's a rationale used by politicians for enacting policy, or the crossed arms of a young black man exclaiming, "Wakanda forever." It's hard to deny that the superpowered other in narratives distributed across multimedia has become a part, some would say, a driving force in public discourse within our culture. So the question of what are superhero stories? You know, where do we limit that to? So the group of characters that reside within superhero narratives includes the usual suspects like Batman and Superman, and all their comic book-based brethren. But an argument can also be made that the likes of Jack Bauer from the TV show 24, James Bond, and the Doctor from the British serial Doctor Who would also be included in their ranks. These inclusions exist because the defining characteristics of superhero characters and narratives is broad, and it's open to some interpretation through the filters of society and time. These particular choices are presented to additionally illustrate the multimedia nature of these narratives. They're not just in movies, they're not just in print, and examples can be found within most cinematic genres that include these kind of stories. Iron Man is a science fiction film. Doctor Strange is a fantasy film, and there's a movie called Brightburn, which is horror and is absolutely a superhero film. So what makes a superhero story a superhero story? So the defining characteristics were laid out by a man named Peter Coogan in a book he wrote in 2006. And this work outlines 3 consistent conventions that exist within superhero films. Those conventions are power, identity, and mission. So a power is primarily what creates a distinction from most action or sci-fi films and superhero movies, because superheroes are in possession of powers and abilities that most people don't have, and makes them other than the rest of the people in the narrative. Power in this case refers to individual abilities or capabilities and is distinct from power in a societal sense. Even if possessing the first can and often does lead to the second. Identity speaks to the way in which a superhero's personality is tied with the outward characteristics that they present. Colorful costumes and gadgets, like Jory mentioned. Descriptive names, group identifications, like the Avengers, all give a superhero character defining public characteristics. You know them when you see them. In Coogan's own words, a superhero's mission is pro-social and selfless. It means that his fight against evil must fit in with the existing professed mores of society and must not be intended to benefit or further his own agenda. A mission agenda is essential to the superhero genre because someone who does not act selflessly to aid others in a time of need is not heroic and is therefore not a hero. So how does this fit in? How do these things fit in with stories, with just narratives in general over the years? For that answer, I'm going to turn to two other scholars, J.R.R. Tolkien and Joseph Campbell. In a lecture entitled On Fairy Stories, delivered in 1938, Tolkien seeks to define the origin of stories, and in doing so presents the metaphor of the cauldron of story, which holds the soup that consists of every bit of story and tale that has ever entered into human consciousness. He claims that all stories are drawn in whole or in part from this cauldron. These things that are placed into the pot are drawn initially from the world around us, and are altered in order to fit the whim and desire of the storytellers, or chef, if you will, of that soup. Historical events, cultural happenings, are all part of the soup and mix with these tales and stories within the cauldron, giving us repetitive elements in these stories. We see the same things coming up over and over again in stories that are told. Joseph Campbell laid down the precepts of what he calls the hero's journey, or the monomyth, in his book from 1949, A Hero with a Thousand Faces. Campbell's assertion is that most, if not all, of the heroic narratives that exist anywhere follow a specific path with the same themes and tropes over and over again. The core precepts of this monomyth are departure, initiation or conflict, and return. If we apply Tolkien's soup metaphor to Campbell's framework, we end up with a recipe. Campbell says, this is how you cook things. And Tolkien says, this is where we find the ingredients to cook. We can see historically that people have been placing their heroes, as they define them, into the heroic framework since people have been doing so within their societies. From Homer to Shakespeare to Dickens to Stan Lee, from Zeus to Moses to Beowulf to Batman. Now, why should we care about all of this in our daily lives? We are, all of us, involved in a superhero story, either as the superhero themselves or supporting a superhero that we know. In many cases, my daughter is the superhero in my life, and I have been the superhero in the lives of some other people. Some say, some days, we are Batman. Some days we are Alfred. And neither is less important to the overall story in the world. Some would even argue that it wasn't Frodo that was the hero of the story, but Sam. Regardless of who it was that got the most recognition at the end of the journey. Most of us have, or know someone who has, power. Something that we can do that no one else can. Maybe we can manipulate fiber into crafts in astounding ways. Maybe you never get lost, or always know the right thing to say, when someone is sad. Each of us strives at some level to have an image, either one that we present outwardly or hold in our minds as an ideal self. The UU puts the heroic mission up as guiding principles each and every Sunday. Inherent worth and dignity, acceptance of one another, and encouragement to spiritual growth. The goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. If these are not a heroic mission, I don't know what is. Your life, your story is a heroic one. Every time you face challenges in your life, you follow Campbell's path of departing from your everyday life and routine, facing conflicts and challenges, and returning to a new status quo that you may have, returning to that new status quo having been changed or grown in some way through those challenges that you faced on your way. You may be even right now in the middle of some of those conflicts or challenges in the story that you are telling right now. And this puts you in the best of company. The specific ingredients of your personal story, the flavor of conflicts and resolutions that you experience from your own cauldron. Your struggles and victories, though, while similar in nature to your neighbors and Beowulf's, are uniquely your own. That recipe may be similar, may be the same, how it's all put together, but what you put into it can't come from anybody else. Today's superheroes are merely the most current and popular versions of the stories that we have been telling since stories have been told. If we can see that these stories all share the common threads of the stories in our own lives, then we will never be fooled, like our friend earlier, into thinking that we don't like that kind of story. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. I do feel like we are all in our own superhero story. Check out my shirt. All right, this next hymn is number 312. And it's a 3/4, so if you can't sing along the tune, at least you can sway back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I do like a musical challenge because it does make me feel like a superhero. And when I can bring life to these songs that seem a little inaccessible, and bring them to the guitar, which is even different than the piano. So, you know, I'm a rocker at heart, right? Okay. And you can stand if you would like, rise in body and spirit if you're able. Here on the paths of every day, here on the common human way, is all the stuff that God would take to build a heaven to mold, make new Doesn't that sound like the superheroes going off to make their lair or their den, or Wonder Woman, who I'm sporting on the forehead here, she had the lasso of truth. So one of the things I think of when I think about superheroes is finding the truth and getting the justice. So thanks again for this message, and here comes Ollie to extinguish the chalice.
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Apologies. Technical difficulties.
No problem. The important work of this fellowship is possible because of generous contributions of time, energy, and money. If you're visiting today, we do not expect anything from you. You are our guest, and we're glad you're here. If you're a member, this is one way to participate in our work of love, peace, and justice in our community. Every contribution of every size is helpful and appreciated. As we pass the offering baskets, we invite you to share financially. If you prefer, you may give online at uufayetteville.org, or you can mail checks to our office. As the baskets are passed, you may find...
Are we ready for the next thing? The next thing will now take place, which I believe is the postlude. Back to you, Jory. We have closing words. I'm sorry.
Closing words. Closed. Okay. This Sunday, this day, is a single day in your story of your life. All of us are pieces of the stories of those around us and those who we may never meet. Whether you're the hero, the sidekick, or a background character, you are important, and we are a story. Thank you for being part of it today. Jory.
The villains also have stories. Anyone seen Maleficent? Yes. The outcome was true love was the kiss between a mother's love and a child, whether they were biologically related or not. True love was not the romantic love, and that's what I loved about that story. So we have time now for this postlude, which has 4 parts. It's not exactly a round because all of the parts are happening at once. So I want to teach you the first part, and then people that feel comfortable with that, you just keep that part going as we add more and more parts. The first line, can you go ahead and... We don't have lyrics because it's the postlude. Okay. It is in the hymnal. 103, please. 1003. It's in the, teal hymnal. So sorry. I was like waiting for the words to come up. Sorry, Tressa. So I'll sing it for you right quick, and then once you get your hymnal open, it's right in the very beginning, 1003. So where do we come from? And then pause. What are we? Pause. Where are we going? And then you repeat that part over and over. Where do we come from? Where are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Keep going. Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Sopranos. third part. Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and a mystery. Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and a mystery. Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Low part. Where do we come from? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where do we come from? Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and a mystery. Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and a mystery. Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and a mystery. Mystery, mystery, life is a riddle and a mystery. Where do we come from? Where are we going? Where do we come from? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? Where do we come from? What are we? Where are we going? That was beautiful. Thank you. We are going to coffee hour. We are going to a meeting for a greeting and a planning session. So your day is already lined out for you. You know where you're going now. Thank you all. See you all next time.